everybody, and welcome to Encounter Roleplay. My name is Will. I'm a Vampire the Masquerade sex icon, and we're here today for another episode of Vampire the Masquerade Full of London. This is, in fact, our first episode. Last week, we had a cheeky little session 0 where we got to meet some of our characters and learn about their relationships with one another and their relationships to being a vampire, I guess. And today, we're going to kick off the adventure itself, the chronicle itself. We are, of course, playing Full of London in Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition. If you're interested in checking out this fantastic book and all of the adventures and dark secrets inside, the exclamation point FOL will take you to that if you go over to Modiphius Entertainment's website. You can check that out over there, along with the rest of the Vampire Masquerade books. Of course, if you're new to Vampire, then this is going to be a whole lot of fun for you. And if you're concerned about rules, well, a lot of the players are new to it as well, so we're going to be explaining as we go. And of course, if you're a Vampire the Masquerade veteran, then you probably know a whole lot of what's going on here anyway, so you can help out folks there in the chat or in the YouTube comments who are asking any questions. But let's kick things off today by going around the cast and crew, reminding ourselves of who we are, and of course, who we are going to be playing today. And of course, look at that beautiful artwork that's up there, along with some of the beautiful cosplays that's on display for us today. Let's start with the man in rags. Adam, how's it going today, my friend?
Hi there. Yeah, really happy to be here. Really excited about choosing to bandage my fucking face for 3 hours every week. That's going to be cool. Hopefully it stays real cold in Britain.
Oh God, I hadn't even thought about that.
Yeah. If it heats up at all, I might be like the sweatiest bandaged Nosferatu. I am playing Jacob Nosferatu, and yeah, I don't regret it. I think it's going to be great.
Fantastic stuff. We've got Jess with us today. Jess, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you? Good. You have a puppy, so you better be very good. I'm Jess, Echo_GG, and today I'm Rahat, who is, of course, a Tremere, sort of scientist, nerd, I guess, hiding in dark corners, doing science and playing with lab things. And actually, in the session 0, I said I was a Sandman, but I discussed it with the other players, and it actually makes a lot of sense for me to be a bagger, so that's the direction I've taken her in now.
Excellent stuff. Excellent. Cool. Of course, we have Amelia with us today. Amelia, how you doing?
Hello, I'm good. Today has been insane, and I've been looking forward to this all week. Yeah, I'm going to be playing Lillian today for the first time ever. She is a formerly Victorian prostitute / madame, and a little more in the dominatrixy way. Yeah, she's going to be interesting. She's a consensual feeder. So, despite the fact she's a Toreador, she will demand that somebody submit to her before, or will gently encourage, let's be kind, someone to submit to her before she will feed on them.
Fantastic stuff. And of course, we have Pro Restarter with us today. Looking awesome. How's it going, my friend?
Yeah, doing good. Hope to be playing this character. I said I am Pro Restarter. I play Takat Itet Menhet, Nubian Pharaoh, Predator type Osiris, because when you're a Pharaoh, you still gotta be adored no matter what time you're in. I'm just happy to be here.
Fantastic stuff. Of course, we have Lindy with us today. Lindy, you weren't here in the session 0, so take a little moment, if you will, to tell us a little bit more about your character than the others.
Yeah, sadly, I was in the car for 8 hours that day. So I will be playing Ulrika. She is a former Viking, definitely a vampire. She is Clan Gangrel, and she likes to get into fights. You know, she never really left the Viking lifestyle to a certain extent. If there's an opportunity to fight, pillage, plunder, other things, she is going to do that. She's also not a great people person, so it's a good thing she has a couple friends who are at least a little better at dealing with that. So she has been a vampire for a very long time. I think she was turned in like 902, which is, very long time ago. Vintage. It's a great vintage, 902. And Goodness. She got involved in the cult because she was really bored. There's no people left to fight, really. The wars kind of slowed down a bit. Vikings kind of settled down and stopped being Vikings, and she was like, "You gonna give me people to fight? I'm in. Let's do it." So that's who she is. She's a brusque one.
Excellent stuff. Speaking of brusque ones, I don't know, Gareth.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that's the nicest thing you've ever said to me, even though I don't really understand what it means.
The nicest adjective.
Yeah, I'll just take that. It seems more complimentary than the other ones. Yeah, I'm going to be playing Sir Quinn today. Yeah, he's going to be your Bruja bodyguards, waiting to protect you. Unfortunately, I've made a bit of a mistake. I have made my character far too attractive, so I look nothing like him. So I'm kind of a bit of an issue. But the rest of the people here look
quick. Everyone,
fantastic.
gather around and compliment Panda.
No, that's not. God, Will, you first.
Fishing for compliments again, Gareth. When will it end? Yeah. Classic Gareth.
And if we're doing prototypes, I am an alley cat.
Oh,
I'm a
shit, me
Sandman,
too.
by the way,
That's
yeah.
right. Yeah, I'm an alley cat.
All right, 2 alley cats. Excellent stuff. All right, well, those are our characters for today. We're about to meet them in a few moments. If you missed the session 0 and you want to know more about it, you can go back on the YouTube channel when it's up there at the moment, youtube.com/EncounterRoleplay. Go subscribe over there. Go drop a comment. Go like. We do read them every week, and it's really nice to see what you guys think of the story as it's progressing and our characters. Keep us going through the week as we yearn for more vampire each and every week. Yes, of course, the sponsor for today, definitely go check out Fall of London. This is the adventure we're about to start playing, so you don't know too much about it right yet. But if you're here for the session 0, you got a cheeky little taste. We're in 2012 London. These guys have been asleep for a whole long while, since about 1940s or so, and they're about to wake up, and the world has changed around them. This adventure leads all across London with a really cool London vampire gangs that are up to no good invariably, and these guys are going to get up to no good as well. And things are about to kick off to a pretty fast start here, which is something I really like about this chronicle. I've been reading it through for the past couple of weeks and can definitely recommend it to you guys. And of course, our regular sponsors include fantasygrounds.com, our virtual tabletop of choice. I do have a couple of handouts today that I'm going to be using to show these guys and make them do reading for me so that I don't have to. Yay, Fantasy Grounds. So check that out. So you can download the demo version for free on fantasygrounds.com. Of course, go check out whalengames.co.uk as well for all of the wonderful miniatures and board games that you might need over there. And soon as well, we're going to be using World Anvil on all of our streams as well. So you guys will be able to learn about the campaign, learn about the world. Essentially, World Anvil is this fantastic RPG and campaign building tool. Has this sort of like homepage where you can learn all about different characters, locations, maps, magic items, anything that you want to include, basically. So we're going to have one of those up for you guys next week. So stay tuned for that. But is everyone feeling ready for some vampires here? Who's feeling ready to drink some blood and get up to no good?
I can't breathe properly.
Well, you have no one to blame but yourself.
That sounds like a personal problem.
Beauty is pain.
It really is. All right. So
Also, you're
before
dead. Does that super matter?
yeah, right.
Nah, not as much as you think, yeah.
Let's quickly, before we get started here, I just saw that we had 20 retweets on this tweet. We're going to do another one of these when we hit 30, so keep retweeting if you guys are just joining in and getting into the stream. We're going to give one of these characters a boon, which is now my favorite word of the day. So we're going to ask you guys which character gets a boon. We're going to add all of their names in. You guys are going to vote for it in the Twitch chat. You just do exclamation point 1, 2, 3, or 4, I think, and we will see who wins it. And for reference, I think a boon in this game is going to be something like I'll change every week. It might be some extra blood potency that we free away. It might be that I give you an extra snack that sort of wanders along and you guys can find. It might be just a statistical bonus, like basically inspiration, or anything in between, essentially. So and I will take some suggestions from chat if you have any ideas for what boons could be each week. So keep that in mind, and I'll open the polling now for you guys. You've got a couple minutes to go vote The instructions should be there in Twitch chat. All right. Let's kick things off, my friends. Episode 1 of Vampire the Masquerade, Fall of London. Everything is dark, and it has been for some time. But then, out of the darkness comes a trickle, that perfect little trickle of blood. The moment that essence touches your tongues, the darkness recedes, and you awaken after a long slumber in torpor. Ulrika, your eyes are shot open. Above you, there is a bald man with ebony black skin, with a ceramic goblet. He's wearing a simple, plain, black button-up shirt, trousers, and shoes. As he pours blood from the goblet into your mouth, he mutters something quietly and reverently in Latin. You come to the uncomfortable realization that you are lying horizontally and strapped to a table. As you greedily gulp down the blood, you come back to your senses. You look around, and you see the rest of your coterie around you. This man goes to each and every one of them, mutters something quietly in Latin, and feeds them blood from this goblet. Slowly, but surely, every one of you awakens. Ulrika, what do you look like, and how do you feel?
Ulrika, she looks a bit out of time, even for when she went into torpor. She keeps her traditional Viking hairstyle and makeup, because fuck conformity. She doesn't believe in it. And she's probably, having been in torpor for a while, pretty emaciated, but she has definitely a bit of an animalistic aspect about her. Her fangs are a little longer than some of her fellow vampires, and she's got a very wild, almost feral look in her eyes. And she assesses the situation around her fully, almost like a trapped animal would. She does not like being strapped to this table.
Yes, the walls, as you look around, you can see are whitewashed breeze blocks, and the floor and high ceilings are concrete. There's a large reinforced metal door opened ajar that marks the only exit from this room. You notice that, looking down on yourself, your rags are pitted heavily with dirt and mildew. The air is matted, and under your fingernails there's years upon years of encrusted dirt and dust.
That's nothing new. But she looks around, realizing that if her clothes are this ragged, it's probably been a while longer than she thought, maybe. And she's gonna look around for her shield, because she takes that into torpor every time she goes into torpor. That's her touchstone, is her shield, maiden shield.
Your possession isn't immediately within eyesight to you, and as you cast your eyes around, you can see that Takat is awakening from their slumber. Takat, you're hungry. You're waking up, and I should note that everyone, as they're waking up here, all of you have hunger 4, so everyone's waking up hungry. Takat, this beautiful taste of red liquid in your mouth awakens you. What do you look like, and how do you feel right now?
Takat is dark skinned. They're wearing black with kind of gold trim around it. They have an ankh on one kind of breast, and then on the other they have an ayafaf on the other, kind of like on this cloak they're wearing. Their goatee is wrapped in like fine like silken fabrics of like gold and blue. And their nails are done, but I think it looks pretty worn and old by the time they're kind of out, and their hair is probably braided and dreaded, but that's probably looking a bit messy as well. They're looking around as well, frantically, like.
Yeah, you see this man sort of moves past you after he murmurs something and moves over to the knight. And while it's been a long time, you do remember the knight, and you can also see that the Viking is also awoken at this point, and similarly seems to be hungry, confused, and casting glances around the room as though she's looking for something. And the man comes to the knight. And Sir Quinn, you awaken with a few drops of precious blood. It trickles down your throat. Your eyes shot open.
To start with, his eyes kind of, really shoot towards this guy just kind of taking in the scene around him. And then it kind of looks a little bit familiar. And he kind of just closes his eyes and starts to control his breathing. And kind of attempts to kind of stem the hunger that is kind of overtaking him. But it's kind of like he's done this before. He'll shoot his eyes around the room as well. Do I see anyone else in here?
You do see the rest of your coterie, in particular those who have awoken Ulrika and Takat.
Also, this is probably going to be the last time this ever comes up. I actually speak Latin. Do I understand what this guy's saying?
Yeah, me too.
You haven't. Yeah, you haven't heard him yet. It could be it's most likely the shock of sort of waking up. He's murmuring quietly, but I'll let you know if and when you hear him.
Yeah, so Quinn's just kind of going to stem and control his hunger just for a second, as he knows sometimes that things have gone bad when it's got over the top, and he's going to just slowly look around the room and kind of make eye contact with the two others who are kind of sitting up or showing signs of being awake.
You look over to the other two, similarly sort of confused, hungry. You can tell just by looking at everyone here that they're hungry and have probably been in torpor for a very long time, judging by their clothing and their sort of general levels of hygiene. Let's say not looking great. The man moves over towards Lillian and drops the liquid into her mouth. And you hear him say, you can hear him this time, Sir Quinn. Your senses are going back to you. Carpe vinum. Which would be an exhortation to sort of drink wine, essentially. Lillian, your eyes shoot open.
And it is very, very fast. She was lying there, and despite the sort of degradation that's happened since they've been in torpor, her suit, her hair, it's quite obvious it was immaculate when she went in. Very 1940s styled, not like this. But the moment that she opens her eyes, they flash open, and there's this look of hatred as she glares at the person who just fed her. And you can see her hands. She's wearing these very delicate black gloves, but her hands are clenched, trying to control herself. And her breathing's ragged, and she's just glaring daggers at this person as she breathes hard.
Yeah, words haven't quite come to you, but that feeling of losing control, of not being the one who's chosen this meal, has been forced upon you, is certainly flaring up Lillian's hatred. The man barely casts his eyes on you, instead murmuring again and moving down the line to Rahat. Again, the drops of liquid pour down your throat. Rahat, you are awake.
I think she doesn't move except to open her eyes, and she has no interest in the person. She is more interested in looking around to see what is different, what is new, and foreign to us. And yeah, she probably is dressed fairly simply in a caftan, and that's probably pretty like neat and simple and clean pressed. But her hair is probably, it clearly probably was held back, but somehow it's still messy. And yeah, she's probably just breathing very slowly and just looking around.
You hear the man say, "Carpe Vunum." He moves down the line. And Rat, you watch with interest as this man, very poised, he strikes you as being very confident in what he's doing. And it's almost ritualistic in the way that he's acting. It's like a priest who's performing a rite or ritual, and he pours the blood from the goblet into Jacob the Nosferatu's mouth through the bandages. Jacob, suddenly your eyes shoot open and you are awake.
Actually, I don't think I'd have opened my eyes. I'd have felt the blood, but I wouldn't have given any indication that I've actually awoken at all. I'm strapped down, right?
You're all strapped down horizontally.
I wouldn't have even opened my eyes.
Mm-hmm.
I'd have given no indication of life or movement.
Okay.
I'm
Jacob
dressed
remains.
Similarly to this, I have goggles around my neck, and I have a hood of some description, but it would be over rags as opposed to anything else. And it's just a mishmash of brown and black fabric, all crusted and runnels of filth.
And you're probably even filthier than you normally could be, because you've been in here for goodness knows how long. A group of you have been into torpor. And a minute or two has passed, and while that paltry meal for the group of you still has you very, very hungry, your consciousness and wits are beginning to return to you. And you watch as the man places the goblet down on what looks to be some form of altar and sits himself down on a bench next to it. And he is looking at each of you, sort of watching you awaken and watching as your eyes shoot around the room and try to take in everything that's happening. He is not the first to speak. It seems like he's letting you take your time, and doesn't seem to need to press you. His eyes are cool and patient pools of moonlight. What's everyone doing at this point while Jacob is sort of remaining there silent and the man is quiet?
Takat is going to try and break his bonds.
Same.
Break their bonds, yeah.
Ulrica's trying to bust out.
Yeah, you all squeal. I imagine begin to sort of shake and move, and you can feel, all of you, no matter your generation, no matter your power, that this is going to take some time to get out of. It is similarly to how when you've just woken up and you're tired and sluggish, but times that by 100, because that's how long you've been you've been asleep for. So there's an inkling of your initial power. You're not gagged, I should say, and as you begin to sort of like twist on your bonds.
And growl. Ulrika's definitely just got a low growl in her throat as she's trying to bust out, and it's not working right away.
Can Sir Quinn call out, be still, my friends. This is not yourself. The hunger, she scratches at your belly. She demands attention, but she will be quelled soon enough. Lay still. You are not in right mind to stand up yet. And I'll try and throw my eyes towards Ulrika, and because she seems to be the one kind of thrashing about the most, right?
I think that's fair to say. You can feel. I mean, as you're moving now, Ulrika, you can begin to feel that energy coming back. It's not going to be long before you'll be able to essentially take a test to try and break your bonds if you still so desire. But how do you respond to
shoot? I just give him like a real snarky look. Like, really? You're gonna she's this isn't terribly out of character for her, even if she wasn't hungry. She doesn't like being contained like this.
It's like a trapped animal.
Yeah. It's exactly how she's behaving. She doesn't say anything though, because words.
What about the others? How are you acting or responding at the moment?
Lillian's just clenching her fist, trying not to fight against the bonds. It's all she wants to do, to bust out and just rip this guy's throat out. But she's trying to maintain some element of decorum.
Rahat is just rationalizing that if this person has started to wake them up, there is some plan here, and you might as well wait and see what's going to happen before making any moves. So she is staying perfectly still, like I said, just looking around the room, analyzing everything, and waiting to see when is a good time to act.
What about Takat?
Takat is looking around, seeing Ulrika kind of thrash around like a wolf, and he's just going to say, "You over there, let me out now."
The man looks towards you and looks towards the thrashing Ulrika and those who are looking to move their way out of their restraints. And he nods in deference towards you. He says, "My apologies. Some kindred, when they are awoken, are prone to frenzy after a long torpor. This is simply a precaution. Now, if you all will agree to behave nicely, then I can let you all go. Do we have an agreement?"
I agree to attack you.
What was that as well, Rahat?
Can we sense if this is this a vampire or a human?
If you were to guess, you would sense that he is kindred, but you can't be certain. He moves with that sort of trademark poise and grace and control that humans so very lack. They're boorish and clumsy in comparison. He looks towards Takat and says, well, that is a risk I'll have to take, I suppose. Come. And he moves towards each of you and begins to undo your bonds. He starts with Takat.
Takat just kind of sits up. They feel their wrists, kind of lean over wherever they're laying on, just eyeing the room, eyeing this person.
He also is untying Jacob's bonds as well, despite the fact he hasn't seemed to have moved yet.
The second that my bonds are loose, I'm going to vanish.
Okay. Do you need to make a roll for that?
No, I'm just going to use Cloak of Shadows. It's free.
Okay. The man sort of smirks, and sort of as though he's sharing a joke with himself. Murmurs something about Nosferatu.
It's so fucking racist. What the fuck?
It's until the effect of I shouldn't be surprised. They can be flighty. He turns to the rest of you and says, my apologies, my friends, for waking you up like this. I'm sure there are many questions that you have, but first let me introduce myself. My name is Adelino da Silva, and I, like you, am initiated in the Mithraic mysteries. Although, it must be said, I am a much younger member of this group of ours. I am kindred, so I hope that you can begin to trust me.
What was your reason for waking us up now?
I answer to Pater Thomas, the leader of the cult of Mithras currently. It had been a long time since you've been in torpor, and in truth you were lost, but now you have been found, and the task awaits you.
Quick question. Who was the original leader that we would know?
That would be Mithras himself. It does strike you as odd that Mithras isn't the head of the cult.
Yeah, Takatsu's gonna say, where is Mithras? He would have thought he'd be here to greet us.
His face falls for a moment. Says, Mithras is gone. Killed. Pater Thomas now continues his great work. I am sorry to awaken you with such dread news.
Killed. Why?
In the war, the bombs that dropped upon London, he was lost to them.
You didn't
On the
answer my
corner.
question.
Yeah, go ahead, Jacob.
No. I'm just going
He
to
did-
chop up in the corner.
Okay.
Fucking bombs.
He says, the year now is 2012. We are in the Docklands in East London. You were retrieved from your crypts in central London and brought here. The time has come for a great task to be performed. But I'm sure you must be hungry. He steps towards that door, the one door which leads out of this room, returns a few moments later with several humans. Two are unconscious and unkempt older men who smell pretty rank. There are two young women in a smart casual attire who are awake as well, and they are bound and gagged. And there are two young men wearing overalls who are also awake and bound and gagged. And Adelino positions himself so that the mortals are between he and you, and his back is towards one of the exits. He shrugs apologetically. This is, I'm afraid, all we could muster on short notice.
When I am
Gestures
done.
for you to help yourselves.
When
think
I am
Ulrika-
done. Take on.
She stopped, like, clawing and trying to get out from these restraints when Mithras's death was mentioned. That would have got her maybe more back in headspace and less just instinct, and she'd allow herself to be released rather than break out after that.
The two unconscious ones, are they homeless?
You couldn't tell. They're unkempt and smell bad, but they're sort of, they're wearing normal clothes, I guess.
Not raggedy, crap looking.
They don't
Like
look.
like-
I guess
They don't look like they've indeed been living on the streets of London.
Right. Yeah. I mean, they like I said, they smell bad. They may have been underground or here for a while. They're certainly not, the freshest of specimens, but they don't have that sort of like, I guess.
Shriveled
Jacob-
decrepitude.
Yes, like of years of like living in a really hard way.
Oh, then I'll just feed on one of them. You'll see somebody getting fed on.
Okay. Adelino smiles. Good.
I'm gonna walk over to them and say, do any of you know me? I'm Takhat Itet Munhet.
They look up at you in awe, all aside from the one who's being fed on.
I'm sure he's in awe in a different way.
Yeah, he's probably a bit more kind of getting it on right now. They look terrified, and a couple of them sort of like, shake their heads. Adelino says, "They are nothing. I am sorry, my lord."
Right now, they are one above you. And I'll just step to the side and say, whichever of you would like to be fed upon but not killed, step towards me.
They're watching as Jacob is feeding on one of the old men, and one of the young women, casting glances between one another, shuffles forwards. Out of bravery or fear, you're not sure which.
Tekhat will just kind of nick like an archer on the arm and kind of take from there, knowing that their hunger can sometimes lead them astray, so not wanting to directly feed from the source.
Mm-hmm. Adelino looks towards Quinn and says, "Good night. You must be hungry."
Where is it we are? What's through that door?
We are in a warehouse on the east side of London, in the Docklands. Through that door is an office. There's someone there waiting to speak with you, but before you do, it is best that you regain some of your power, Sir Knight.
So Quinn's going to kind of try and fight hunger. He knows that just for these kind of first minute or so, we're going to be pretty vulnerable if we're all feeding at the same time. So he's going to kind of try and fight this feeling in his stomach and his urge to just kind of go at one of these people and stand in the door and just kind of cover everyone with him.
Lillian will take that opportunity. Which of these people looks least disheveled?
One of the young men or young women. They're bound and gagged, but less dirty.
Okay, she'll head towards one of the women and remove the gag and stare at her. You have a choice.
Scared.
This can either hurt or it may not hurt. So you get to choose. Would you prefer him? Or her? And point to Sir Quinn and Ulrika. Or would you rather somebody with a little more refinement?
She's gagged and bound, but she sort of bows her head in supplicance to you. It's likely that this isn't the first time she's been fed upon and knows the deal here.
She'll pull the gag straight down, not gently either, and go, I'm going to need a yes or a no.
Yes.
Thank you. And then, faster than your eyes can really keep track of, her arm is back, and she's just got her mouth on the wrist.
Which of the two young men look like they put up the most fight?
One of them is
Like who looks like they've struggled a lot more than, maybe has a couple bruises.
one of them's a little bigger and a couple of bruises and a broken nose.
All right,
So,
yeah. She'll go over to him.
Sexy if they don't fight back.
It's just so boring. Gosh. Food should be interesting. So she'll come over and she'll just with her nails just cut whatever, keeping him tied. Just get the ropes, pull out the gag. And she starts to get a little excited. And she points to the door.
Up a bit. Now I'm having fun.
She points to the door and says, if you can make it to the door, I won't eat you.
He runs.
And I shoot him bomb him and I rip his throat out and I eat him.
So you're gonna drain this human?
Oh yeah.
All right, that's
Definitely.
you're gonna get to 0 for draining a corpse. So for the next,
and hopefully he fights back a bit. She waits till he's almost to the door. Just
you're like a cat with a basically dead mouse.
Yep.
Just sort of batting at it still, and it's not quite dead. And he sort of manages to throw up a punch, and you just take the punch on the face and it doesn't even hurt. And yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How messy is the kill?
It's pretty messy.
Is there some kind of check I can roll to see whether I'm just because I'm trying to guard this door being insatiably hungry, and if I can smell all this vitae behind me, I think it's going to drive me insane.
I mean, you could do a rouse check and risk going to hunger 5. That'd be bad.
Oh. Okay, let's go for it. Just
to let you know in advance, if you do a rouse check and go to hunger 5, then if you are forced to go another rouse check, you might well frenzy. Just as an aside.
Well, it just means that I'm going to give up my post and go and feed. That's kind of what
that's not what frenzy means at all, unfortunately.
No, that's what I want to do. I want to see.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Are you happy if I roll a d10? Well, if I get under 6, I drop and go and feed and give up my kind of stern-looking post thing, and
Yeah, sort of giving in to the old.
I drop my post and I turn around and let's grab the other slightly more disheveled-looking guy, and I'm gonna drain this guy because my friend's just eaten something and it looks really good.
Okay.
Rahat is shaking her head at all this.
And for clarity, so Quinn, are you feeding on the same corpse
No,
as Ulrika, or are you picking one of
No,
the
I
other?
would fight him.
No, it's the other. I imagine like I'm just smelling the blood spraying everywhere, the arterial spray, and it's done me in. So I've gone for the disheveled one who's passed out on the floor, no fight, and just like going straight for the throat.
Okay. Rahat, you're watching as your coterie descends. Some with restraint and poise, and others with sheer frenzy and hunger. You're pretty hungry too, though.
Rahat was hoping for that other unconscious one because she doesn't like hunting and she doesn't like having to like barter with humans and like. Oh, this is so annoying.
I mean, they're bound and gagged. So the amount of bartering you're going to have to do is minimal.
Yeah, so I guess whichever one is left that is completely bound and gagged. I guess the two unconscious ones were taken. Rahat is used to like leftovers. So
There's like one young man left who's probably real glad Ulrika didn't come up to him.
yeah, so she just like literally sighs like it just like walks over. It's like just excuse me, stay still. And then like goes
He's
for like
gagged, so he's just like.
In his mind, though, he's screaming, I have no choice in staying still.
good. Preferable. And just goes ahead and like slowly slowly sips at her snack.
Mmm, tasty. So, you all feed, and after that, those however long it takes, I think Ulrika maybe is taking the longest after the fact that she's actually draining this body. There is a husk on the floor.
And playing with her food.
Oh, I'm draining mine as well.
Yeah, I'm draining mine now after that as well.
Okay. So there are 3 dead mortals on the ground, and 3 who have just been sipped upon. That's a really gross term, but I like it. So Adelino De Silvo, sort of after you've taken a few minutes and fed, smiles again and says, Good. Perhaps now some of that ancient power is returning to your vessels. Come with me. I must introduce you to Mr. Darius Shirazi. He is a very important person. He's very excited to meet you.
So we ain't going to see the organ grinder, we're going to see the monkey, yeah?
Well, I suppose you could say that, but the true organ grinder now in London is Queen Anne. She is the Prince of London's kindred.
You said we were lost.
Of the cult, mate, the cult.
Yes. It's
We're going to see, where's this Peter?
He is unavailable to you, but has left you with some communication.
Oh, brilliant. At least we got messages then. That's super.
You said we were lost. What do you mean by that?
I understand that your crypts became lost for a time and were recently covered.
Careless.
Indeed.
Where exactly were they recovered? So coincidentally.
They Well, not far from here. Central London, an expedition by the British Museum uncovered them. Fortunately, Mr. Darius Shirazi, whom you are about to meet, recovered you. He is a archaeologist of great repute and a loyal member of our Mithras cult. He starts walking through that door. There are 3 humans he's pulling along, and
I would
you can
have
see
kept
cells.
mine near me.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, if anyone wants to hold on to any of the humans, you can. If not,
Absolutely not.
yeah, he's putting them back into cells in the next room.
I look to mine and take off the bindings and things like that, and I kind of whisper to her, "What is your name?"
Holly.
Well, Holly, you are under my protection now. You have been saved. I am Takhet Minhet.
She
Come
nods.
along.
She follows. I'm assuming that everyone is following Adelino into the next room.
Yeah. I definitely took something off of the guy though, like maybe his belt or something as like a trophy. 'Cause my clothes are ruined anyway, so might as well have a little something nicer.
You know
And
what,
I'm
give you-
definitely covered in blood spray. Just
I'm going to give you your boon as well. He has,
Okay.
because I think Ulrika won, he has some kind of strange metal plasticky block, which is silver and about fits into the size of your hand.
Ooh.
And so you can move part of it. It seems to have some kind of glass screen or something on it. It's covered in blood, but it does seem like it could be some kind of relic, or perhaps it contains magic.
a worthy pillage. Yes. I'll follow this guy. I'll put it, tuck it in somewhere.
It says hello.
Maybe
Moshe.
kind of wipe it off.
I was saying, it says Nokia on the front cover, doesn't it?
Has it got snake? Oh god.
You
Lillian
put it
will
away.
follow along. She'll definitely allow Takat to go before her. Everybody else, she doesn't really pay a huge amount of attention to. And she'll be walking very properly, trying to sort her hair out as best she can. Concerned that she's going to meet somebody important at this precise moment.
Could be that you are. Yeah, you the group of you then walk through, following Adelino, into this sort of corridor room. You can definitely tell, by the way, that you're in some kind of warehouse. This place is large and sort of echoey and has that smell of like old damp about it. East side of London smells about right from what you can tell. He then leads you through this corridor with cells and mortals inside, through a door and into a rectangular room, which has a large desk at one end and bookcases which line the wall opposite. The entrance into the room is in the middle of one of the longer walls, and you can see that the opposite wall is broken by a continuous row of narrow windows placed just above head height. Light is coming through, but it's filtered a dark, sort of cloudy light, which is coming through. The office has lateral Venetian blinds on the inside, and the interior decoration of the room is mostly brown and drab, and though you haven't lived through it, for our viewers' eyes, recalls the 1970s quite well. The desk itself is sturdy mahogany. There are several chairs arrayed in front of it, and a chocolate brown leather sofa pushed against the back wall to one side. You see a man who's seated in at the desk, who's sitting in a plush brown leather office chair, who immediately jumps to his feet as you enter. This man is wearing a sort of 70s cream suit, has dark skin, and next to him stands another man who's wearing a denim jacket and with stringy blonde hair. The second man is quite a bit shorter than the first. He doesn't move as you enter and instead gives you all the praising look, sort of looks you all up and down. Adelino leads you in, and as his first man jumps up, the one in the cream suit, he says, come in, come in, come in! He moves to shake everyone's hands. Darius Shirazi, pleased to meet you. Who do we have here? Forgive me, I know not your names, but I discovered you recently. Rescued you from the depths of grimiest London sewers. And he, whoever walks in first, he moves to shake their hand, I suppose.
Probably to Cat.
Mm.
If people waited, yeah. The cat would kind of go forward then and introduce themselves and just says, "My name is Takhat Itet Munhet."
He gets this look on his face. And you know what this look is, Takat, because you've seen it plenty of times. This is...
Oh, you know
shit.
me. Yes.
yeah. You're famous. And this sort of like look of awe comes upon his face. And actually, awe and a bead of sweat begins to drip down his brow. Really? It is an honor. Truly it is. And who do we have here? Whoever wants to introduce himself next, he moves to shake your hand.
Lillian won't shake his hand, but will hold hers out for him. Lillian Whitlock. Mr. Shirazi, I believe we have you to thank for recovering us, no?
Yes, I am something of a archaeologist, aspiring architect, and I had a little dig, and I stumbled upon a lead, as it were, and it was you. Fortunately, my friend here, Mr. Adelino de Silva, informed me of, well, who you might be, and, well, here we are. It's a pleasure to meet you, Lillian Whitlock. And who do we have here? Reaches out an eager hand to whoever wants to introduce themselves.
Rahat's ignoring the people and walking around the room looking for stuff.
Okay, sure.
What's new and exciting in here? Like, what is something we haven't seen before?
Brown leather sofas, cream jackets, denim, which the other man is wearing. But really, as I described, there's an office mahogany desk. There's some sofas and bookcases. So it might be books that you're the most interested.
Ooh, yeah,
in.
definitely go over to the books, please. Thank you.
Yeah,
Back to the people, like, completely, and just straight to the books, please. Thank you.
Well, yeah, make yourself at home, please. And you, sir, looks towards you, Sequin. Who might you be? Look like.
I'll kind of reach out a hand and I'll give him like an exploratory handshake. I'll give it a nice squeeze. Can I tell you?
Handshake.
Like, you get the macho men.
Phrase we're going to hear today. Even if we eat children later, exploratory handshake is still going to be worse.
Macho men give that bullshit squeezy handshake to see if the other person can match the grip. But like, can I tell if he's kindred?
Again, you get the sense just by the way that there's the speed at which he moves, and the poise with which he does so. I say he's lunging out to offer handshakes. I mean, he's like moving lightning fast to go in for handshakes. You can't tell yet about the second man in the denim jacket. He is yet to have moved, but he's looking you up and down with a predatory look, which might speak to the fact that he is too kindred.
Cool. Is this guy looking like he's trying to intimidate me when he's looking me up and down? Is he sizing me up?
Yeah. The guy in a denim jacket is giving you all praising looks, and he looks like he's a bit of a hard man. Maybe he's giving Ulrika like a little grin as well. Like he's into the outfit. He's into the whole like
Into the blood splatter. That's just
yeah. He looks impressed by the blood and the sheet. You don't have the shield on you yet, but yeah, he looks impressed by all that.
And who is he?
This is our companion, Mr. Mickey Wheeler. And Mickey Wheeler says, "You all right? What's up?"
Before I entered the room, I used Cloak of Shadows and Unseen Passage. I'm now like crouching down on my haunches next to Mickey. I just tap him on the shoulder. All right.
He looks down at you with not a whole lot of surprise.
Hello.
There's maybe a twinge of like surprise. You're right.
How's it going?
Not bad. Just letting Darius do his thing.
Yeah. Word to the wise though. If you keep looking at that one for too long, you'll either have to fuck her or kill her because it's going to go bad.
Sounds like a deal. And forgive my uncouth companion here. Mr. Wheeler is more used to the back streets of London's somewhat seedier locales. But
if he offers a handshake to Ulrika, instead of doing like the handshake, she never quite got that. She goes for like the arm grab, like old thing. But she definitely like grips pretty tight and kind of pulls him in a bit and goes, "Ulrika, where is my shield?"
Yes. If you don't mind, I took the small favor of making sure your items were cleaned and well preserved. You see, they had been in torpor for quite some time, but Mickey, why don't you fetch the shield? And he heads out of the room and returns a moment later with the shield that he gives to you.
And then she'll release him. She definitely doesn't let go until that happens.
Lillian will watch that with a smirk.
He looks down towards Jacob. And who might you be, my friend?
I'm not going to respond.
Right. Well, I'm sure we'll get to all know each other well over the course of time. So, well, you see, a little bit about myself, I suppose. I am writing a biography of the great Methuselah, Mithras, for posterity. Though, Adelino, have you... And Adelino sort of nods gravely. They are aware that Mithras is no longer.
Apparently it was bombs, yeah? Mithras killed by bombs, is that right? So the war, was it?
That is... Darius says, well, that is what is told by most, but in truth, those of us within the higher echelons of the Mithraic Order are told a different story, one of betrayal.
Oh, thank fuck, because that sounded real fucking lame.
Right.
Yes, it is now turned to myth, and you understand how these stories, they become silly, as it were. But no, Mithras was betrayed by someone that he thought to be a friend, a lover. But that's a story for another time, I think.
Did he die fighting?
Yes, always.
Why were we not awoken when this transpired?
Well, because you were lost. And I found you. Yes, that is something
I'll
of
get
a,
it out of the way now because you seem to be angling for it since the beginning. We're all real grateful that you found us. That's ever so good of you. So thank you so much. No, actually, hold on a second. I don't think I can do this justice. Thank you for finding us. Now get on with it.
Right. Well, you're most welcome. And I
good.
take
That's
your...
then, yeah.
Yes. Well, I fully understand that you are much more powerful and important than me. I am but a humble servant and composer of the arts and a collector of great tales and stories. Well, I'm sure you're interested in, well, getting on with it, I suppose. You've been asleep for quite some time. I'm sure Mr. Adelino has told you the year is now 2012, and the world looks quite a bit different than from last time you were up and about, as it were. As I'm sure you now know, Queen Anne is now the Prince of the Kindred here. And in fact, there will soon be a very good opportunity for you to meet with her because she's throwing a party tomorrow night. And anyone who's anyone is going to be there. Yes.
Do I know who... question. Do I know who Queen Anne is?
I think peripherally that's a name that rings a bell, but she's a vampire that you haven't had direct consultation or interaction with. She certainly wasn't the prince where you were about. That was Mithras. So yeah, that's a name that rings a bell, but probably raises an eyebrow in the sense that that's interesting that Queen Anne is now in power there. Much has changed, no doubt. And he says, but before all of that, there is a letter from Peter Thomas, and he is going to hand you a letter. And I'm going to share this in Fantasy Grounds, our virtual tabletop of choice. And one of you, lucky people, is going to volunteer to read this out for us. So who feels like doing a bit of reading today?
I can if you want.
Go for it.
My dear and loyal friends, I am sure you have many questions, but for the time being, I must ask you to be patient. The circumstances around your awakening are clearly unusual, and I apologize for this. Much has changed in the time you have been asleep. I regret to inform you that most tragically, our Lord and Master, Mithras himself, was destroyed some years ago, possibly by bombs. Ungrateful traitors from within his cult betrayed him to his enemies. The cult continues, however, devoted to his memory and his legacy. Your resting place was lost to us, buried as a result of damage done to London by a great war between the nations of Europe. It is only through recent circumstance that you have been revealed again and rightfully returned to us. You wake on the cusp of a great storm that is about to envelop London in its fury. I and many others still loyal to our cause have already retired to other domains far from here to escape its wrath. However, one important task remains, which has been entrusted to you, our only remaining heralds of the sun. God, that's a wanky name, innit? Artifacts of spiritual value to the Mithraic cult are still in London. They're kept by those who were once loyal to us, who have now strayed from the path. Whether they were involved in this conspiracy to murder our Lord is unknown, but they are no longer to be trusted. A clay seal, once used by our Lord to mark official documents, left in the possession of Lady Anna Bowlesley. A silver ring inset with a ruby, believed to be in the possession of a Tremere Sri Shanza. A bronze dagger of Egyptian style, AA, to Cat, gifted to the Nosferatu Richard de Word. I can't read what that says underneath this. Oh, hang on, here we go. A Phrygian cup, once worn by our Lord, in his official Mithraeum, since claimed by Gwenillian Birch Arwin. Oh wow, that is so explanatory. Thank you for this letter. You certainly couldn't have summed that up in maybe 2 sentences.
I haven't read this letter. I'm hearing it for the first time. Keep reading. You're doing very good.
Is there more?
There's a little bit down the bottom.
I found the big golden thing that moves it. Okay. We humbly beseech you to seek these... Shut your mouth. These items out and retrieve them before the storm descends. Also take with you the goblet that was used to wake you. Once you have completed this task, call the number 0794 636728. So what is that on like? Is that on like a telephone?
No doubt you do remember telephones, but now telephones are in our hands. And he reveals this as though it's a great magical artifact, and he brings you some mobile phones and scatters several onto the desk, and he says these are what are called burner phones. Yes, you can use them to make a few pieces of communication and then dispose of them so that others may not. You will burn them afterwards, after you use them after a time, in a sense. So
what button burns the phone?
Well,
fire.
Why would we be burning the fucking phone?
No, I can see how that's confusing. Mickey, perhaps
if you've got like a fireplace or something, I mean, that'd do
Mickey
it,
said,
why?
it's a phrase of speech. It's not real. We're not actually going to fucking burn it. It's just a burner phone in that once you use it after a while, you're going to get rid of it because other people can spy on you with it.
So
if they get out
so like a throwaway phone then, yeah? So like a throwaway phone. Like you throw it away afterwards, yeah?
Phone. Yeah.
So why'd you call it a fucking burner phone then?
It's what they call them.
Why is that then?
I'm disappointed we're not setting things on fire.
I don't know why mortals call things what they call them. They're weird and stupid.
Right. I forget that. We'll send a team to extract you from London and guide you to safe haven after we've called a thing and possibly burnt the phone. May good fortune and the blessings of our Lord and Master go with you. Thomas, Pater of the Sun, Guardian of the Temple. And then there's just, like a squiggly line.
Suddenly there was the cutest dog in the world.
Oh.
And then everybody breaks character at once. Quick, everyone,
as soon as the
stop being
puppy showed up.
Stop being the vampires for like 30 seconds and get on it.
So,
was this letter sealed when it was passed?
It was sealed, and it did have a seal on it. That is like a Mithraic symbol that you would recognize.
Yeah. I mean, it looks pretty. It looks legit. It's the same. It's the same thing he's used before. It looks pretty kosher.
And I remember giving him that dagger.
Fascinating, says Darius. Well, it seems as though we're going to need to collect a few of these items. Fascinating. I will help you. Yes, I will help you as best as I can. Now, you're going to need to know where to find some of these vampires. They do reside in London. I think most likely the easiest starting place would be to speak with the Queen, seeing as she is the Prince of London and knows everyone, and controls everyone too, wields a fair amount of power around these parts, and could no doubt help you if she so desired. I know who you should call, or your first telephone call. Yes. You shall call Miss Scarlett Churchill, who is in charge of booking events for the Queen. you don't have an invitation yet. The party's tomorrow night, but if you call her, she'll be sure to arrange that you're allowed into the party. Yes. It's at the Shard, which is a giant tower here in London, which is new. It looks like
fantastic. I'm so excited for you to tell. Honestly, please tell me at length about the shape of the building. But before that, can we have that number thing for the phone thing?
Yes. Now, whoever wants to take the call, here is your burner phones. Take as many as you need, and here is the number. And he writes it down on a piece of paper for you.
A quick question: would I know what these artifacts do at all? Like what their importance are?
Yeah. Let's see if I can.
Because it kind of seems weird that everyone's dead and then get these items.
So let's say that you in particular know this because you were close to Mithras. Part of his sort of Mithraic legend is the ability to essentially come back from the dead. And Mithraic rituals require powerful magical items. So if Takat were to guess, this was to get all of these items would allow one versed in the Mithraic rituals to attempt to bring him back. But it's worth noting that Takat might want to keep that to themselves. At this point, if you so choose, you wouldn't have to tell the rest of the group that because they wouldn't know it.
I think Takat kind of looks over the letter, if it was passed around, and then takes a look at Rahat, who is most likely still looking at the books.
Rahat would stop and notice that you're doing this because you're the one she's most connected to, and would come over if you're looking at a list of items. That was the only thing on the letter that caught her attention.
I think then Rahat would fold up the paper so it was just a list of items and just hand it to you if they had the letter, or would write it down on some paper, and depending who's holding it, and just say, I think you're going to be more useful in this situation than you were with me. I could not find a use for you back then, but this is your expertise.
Yeah, Yeah, I think Rahat is just looking over the list of items and trying to think of if she knows anything about them. And if no one argues, she will keep that letter.
Okay. Pup's mad.
Did the pup just fall down?
No. She wanted to go down and play. Sid had to go out for a minute, so I'm looking out to her. Usually she's right now. Oh, don't worry, I'm
the zoomies.
Thank you.
And then also if any of the books were interesting that she was looking at, she would hold one of them up at whoever seems responsible for this room and be like, may I keep this?
Darius Shirazi looks why not? Go on, take them all if you want, or just come back at any time you want and come get some more of them. I've got loads. This is just a few of them. They're all about archaeology. Yeah.
Lillian visibly shudders at the idea of coming back here.
Some of them are about science, some are about technology, some will help you learn about the world as it is today. Some are history books, some include history of which you have missed out while you've been in torpor. And some are, one of them's called 50 Shades of Grey. It's also pretty good. Actually, I'm not sure if that's out yet. We'll see.
Yeah, when he said that she could have more than one book, she's now looking through the collection which one of these seems useful?
Like a kid at Toys R Us.
There's going to be a strength
yeah.
check at the end as she carries out 700 books.
Who wants to help me carry books? Who wants to help the nerd with her books, please?
No.
Ulrich has just been making intense eye contact with Mickey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's been holding that as well.
How
Love music plays in the background.
Quinn will speak up. How long were you looking for us?
Well, truth be told, a couple of years myself. There are a few locations I thought you could have been moved to, and well, I found one of them.
And is the calendar still in effect here?
Oh yes, Queen Anne enforces it here in the city.
Ugh.
Everyone grumbles.
The two
I'm
older
fine-
vampires
I'm
who like
fucking
were
fine
before
with
the
it.
Camarilla and are just like, ugh, gross.
Yes, don't fear. Law and order exists, although not always.
And are there any toes we need to be careful of standing on when we head outside?
Well, as I mentioned, Queen Anne is a force to be reckoned with. When you go to her party tomorrow night, bring her a gift. Yes, a gift. She always asks for a gift. What the gift is, well, that will depend on your interpretation, I suppose. But it's very important that she like you, because
Interpretation of what?
what a gift is. What is a gift, after all, Lillian? Is it jewelry and gold, or is it blood, sacrifice?
All right,
You can tell.
all right. Shut up a second. What clan is Queen Anne?
Yes. Good question. Let me, the DM, go find out. I'll go search my database.
What?
I mean, that wasn't supposed to be that much of a stumper, so I feel like you, Dario, as a vampire living in this city, would be quite well aware of that, and I'm kind of unimpressed that you're not.
What can I say? I'm crazy.
He's telling us just like really, really slowly.
Who is this idiot and why is his office so aghast?
Belongs.
Yes. I remember now. All I had to do was read it.
How about you? If you were going to get her a gift in these times, what would you get her?
I would get her a bouquet of the most ancient flower I could find. I might steal it from the British Museum. No, I know what I'd do. I'd find a mummified hand of one of her old enemies. Yes. Oh, no, wait, no. Some blood of one of the Inquisition. Yes.
Again, I've got to stop you because you're rambling and it's nonsense.
I do that.
What? Yeah. No, we know. What are good examples of some other gifts that people have gotten her from not the stupid corner?
Those many of those were real gifts. Let's see. Well, victims she might wish to feed upon, but not the boring kind. They would have to be interesting. And blood of a member of the Inquisition is, well, a delicacy to the Queen. She detests them. What else? Well, if there were jewels and diamonds, perhaps, but they would have to be of a rare vintage.
So basically, ignore everything you said initially and go with the blood or gems.
Oh no, I wouldn't. I wouldn't know where to start. I would do any of them, or none of them. I'm not sure. Or you
Can we go now, or do we still have to stay
could
listening
go
to
to
this?
this new land where items can be purchased. Yes. There are
You know
many
they had money in the
stores.
40s, you clump.
It's a good Matterland.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you have not seen stores like it, my friend. No. You shall see. Oh, you shall see. I need everybody
You
now at this
mentioned-
point to roll me wits plus awareness. So this is difficulty 2. It's the first roll of the game for some of us. So again, we're rolling a d10s. You have a pool of dice. So if you have 2 ticks in wits, and you roll 2 in that, and if you have 2 in awareness, you roll 4.
And how do we roll multiples of such?
Anything you roll over a 6 is a success. You would do in Fantasy Grounds /die space 4d10.
Oh no, sorry, that was wrong.
All right.
You're good.
Something. /die. Say that again.
Yeah. /die space 4d10, and I will copy it into our little chat here.
I got 3 successes.
Fantastic.
Well, that didn't work. Why did that
4
not work?
successes.
It was a difficulty what? Sorry.
2.
/die 6d10. Oh, I've actually by D.
I'm too
Fuck.
busy making intense eye contact to notice anything else right now.
5 successes.
I think I've got 3 successes.
Neither of you are blinking because there's no need to.
Yeah, it's just real intense.
Do 10 still explode?
Yeah, I got 3
yeah.
successes.
But you can get like crits by rolling. I think 2
Oh, and I
10s is a
got,
crit.
Yeah, I got 2 10s.
I got 1 10 now.
Okay. It sounds like everyone who rolled at least got 1 success. Your senses twitch, and from out of the window, you have noticed something. In the corner of your eyes, I mentioned these sort of like Venetian blinds that are in this room. You can see through little gaps in them, and something has been moving outside of it. You look and you see what looks to be some kind of small flying box with lights on it, which is like floating and flying around. It's got this little red light which is blinking on it. Darius Sylvia hasn't noticed.
What the hell is that, the box?
What? Oh, that box. Oh dear. And as he says that, you hear the rattle of gunfire from outside. And there's a fair bit of gunfire, which begins to spout off in the not too distant distance. And Darius shouts, oh dear, oh, we ought to do something. Yes, this is not good. Not good at all.
What is happening?
We're under attack. Mickey!
As he says the word attack, I'm going to vanish.
By
I need a
who?
rouse check for that.
Yeah, go ahead. Get a rouse. Throw on the action music.
Hurrah! The good
Huzzah.
kind of rouse check.
Darius says, that might be a story for another time.
We don't want a story. We want information. Tell us who we're fighting so we can fight them.
Not advisable, no. Long story short, Inquisition, but a whole lot worse than whenever you knew him.
Excellent. The presents are coming to us, shall
Second
we?
Inquisition.
Yes, Operation Antigen. A few years ago, there in London, there's a war going on, but I didn't want to bring you.
How do we kill them?
You, in your current state, we need to get you to safety so that you can succeed in this ultimate task that Mithras has led you to. Mickey. And Mickey is already headed out the door. He's like, yeah, I'm going to deal with him. I've got a couple of other lads out front. You guys, fuck off, get to safety. And he's out the door like a shot. And then he breaks away eye contact with Ulrika. But to you guys, it looks like they just break off eye contact. To them, what actually happens is, when Aragorn is going off to the warg fight, and there's that moment where he's riding the horse and he turns around and looks at Eowyn, and it's this really dramatic music swells. looking away, and that's what's
later in the campaign, is he going to like totally screw her over and go back to his initial girlfriend because they totally fucked up the source material? Or is it going to be something totally different?
Watch to find out, ladies and gentlemen. So
that'll be episode 4. Have a cry.
It's all planned out. Mickey rushes out the room, and the sounds of ensuing gunfire continue on outside. And Darius flicks a switch underneath his desk, and one of the bookcases slides out, and it leads to a dark tunnel beyond. That way, if you please, always have an escape exit. That's rule number 1, am I right? Oh, this is exciting, but scary.
I'll hold a gloved hand right up to his face in a "do shut up now" motion, and gesture very genteelly for Takat.
Takat will kind of bow their head and say, "Thank you. Come along, Holly."
She follows.
And she will follow along directly after him.
I grab a handful of these burner phones and follow afterwards. And if he's got like a desk ornament, I take that too. Like a paperweight or something.
Okay. Adelino is also moving with Mickey, it sounds like, to the sound of the gunfire. Good luck, my friends. May I see you on the other side.
Is there only one door in and out of here apart from the ones that we've come from?
Yes, yes, it does appear like there aren't many exits or entrances here.
So I'm going to throw or like pick up the mahogany desk and just put it against the door to kind of give us just a few extra seconds as we head down.
Okay.
As we're leaving, is there anything in this room that looks like a fire poker, something swingable?
No fire poker, but there are a few items on the desk. There's like an old skull that looks like something that Darius has been keeping for a while. We could swing that. But there aren't really any weapons in the room as such. That being said, your claws are pretty deadly.
Fine. And she'll just strut out.
Okay. Is everyone heading into the tunnel after Sequin sort of hold it? He's pulling a Hodor for a second.
Oh no!
And then Sequin, you're the sort of last one out. It sounds like, and you can hear shouts of several loud shouts from men where the gunfire is coming from, which is "Put your hands in the air, Metropolitan Police, hands where I can see them." And then sounds of more gunfire and screams coming from that distance.
There's nothing obvious as we're going through that I can close this bookcase behind us.
No, but you do see Darius is waiting on the other side, and he looks like he's about ready to sort of pull something to make it go back.
Perfect. Yeah, I'll chase after the rest of him, and I'll just kind of give him a nod that he's done his duty.
Very good. And while Darius seemed at first as though he was composed but excited, the longer that you have all spoken to him, the more sort of deranged and sort of crazed he has appeared to you. If you were to guess, he might be of Malkavian descent. He starts leading the way. Come on, off we go! And closes the bookcase behind you into the sort of dark, dank tunnel that you found yourselves in. So, the tunnel itself is made out of this rough-hewn, dark stone. It looks like it's probably been here for a while. And as you run through it, it connects to the old sort of Victorian sewers of London, and a stench of sewage very swiftly assails your nostrils, while the sound of gunfire dissipates away into the distance. And after a time, maybe 10 minutes or so of running, and Darius leading the way. He stops, and there's a ladder leading up to the top of a sewer grate. He says, right, well, this is a street in London. Was there anywhere particular you wanted to go? As mentioned, the party is tomorrow night, so you do have a day to find a present, / get some food, find a place to rest. You may, of course, have old lodgings you wish to check out again, as it were. I'm not your boss, I'm just here.
Tailor.
Tailor, yes, good. There are definitely some of those if we head towards Central London.
And then my flat in Mayfair.
Well, Mayfair's that way. I assume I know the sewer system of old London inside and out.
Yeah.
Like
you're like Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah. Right now, I should be actually having a useful skill set. Well, Mayfair's that way, and most of the tailors are what? Is it still Savile Row? Is that where it is still? Well, that's over there. So that way for clothes, that way for pouncing around. Which do you want to do first?
I'll look to the cat.
My house is not it's in central London. I can follow you until you get yourself accustomed to your new attire. I'm fine.
As you wish.
To where you
Very
want to
good.
go?
Well, I'm headed to the South Bank. I've got another office out there. It seems like this one's been compromised. Oh dear. Well, if you need me, here's my business card. You can give me a call on one of those burner phones, or you can just come by and visit me, preferably during the night.
I'll take
the card like right on the corner, like I don't want to touch it, and pop it into a pocket with a smile. Just oh god.
Yeah.
I'll wipe my glove off on my coat.
Everyone's like, nope, don't do that. Yeah.
Shall we?
It's Roger Federer. It's very good. You don't
Before
know
you were
that,
going.
but he's a very important vampire. Right, yes, I will see you in my offices when I see you.
Would this be Roger Federer, famous tennis player known for playing at Wimbledon, outdoors?
How do you know?
No, out of character. Is this Roger Federer, famous
kidding.
tennis
I'm just fucking around. I'm going to make a lot of celebrities into vampires that don't make sense. So
I dread to think what the scent of Roger Federer would be.
Roger Federer does have a perfume though. Like there
like
is
balls of grass.
God, does he
He's
fucking
got like a whole line. Yeah, no, for real, they all do.
Sweat and tennis linen.
It's gross. It's gross.
Well, actually, logically, any celebrity scent should be really rank, shouldn't it?
Smells like Ball Boy.
Oh, that's Britney Spears, right? But she's probably really manky after a concert, isn't she?
Ball Boy by Roger Federer.
Should we get a vehicle?
I mean, we don't have to. The sewers go to Mayfair.
No, I don't think so.
Oh no, I mean, you know, you probably want to get yourself a limo to go. Oh, what must be about 3 streets over that way? I can see your point.
I should rather ride a horse myself than continue to be here, thank you.
I mean, yeah, go upstairs, steal a horse, you know, see how long that takes you. I'll meet you there, I guess.
Lovely. The parting.
I mean,
will be
you can walk on the stone if you don't want to walk in the water.
And I'll just shoot him a look, like I'm not even going to waste words on you.
I mean,
and then
look at me. That has so little effect, you wouldn't believe.
Is there a ladder up?
Yeah.
Okay, then I will. Shall I?
Yes, please.
And I'll climb the ladder and.
Oops, didn't mean to do that. Sorry.
I'm assuming push my way out. I've never been in a sewer. I'm not sure how this works.
What time of day is
Darius is gone. It is now night. It was late already, but it is now fully dark. And you can tell that you'd know soon at least that it's winter, so it actually gets dark pretty early. So it's probably dark around, I don't know, 5, 6 o'clock around this sort of time. And Darius has already sort of like pushed the grate aside and headed out. So the path is clear.
I'll glance about to see if there's anybody else around. I'm assuming there's nobody there, or are we in the middle
It's
of the
opened out
street?
into a quiet back alley, but you can hear the sounds of people around you.
Okay.
You
Look at the
really
alley
think this
and
is
just-
the best place for us to be. We are in a place that we no longer know in not much more than undergarments. I'm afraid that I think
Yourself.
I'm fully dressed actually.
well, certainly we're not looking our best, and
Yeah, everyone does
Actually-
look
Looks
moth-eaten. I mean,
slightly
it's just been like...
offended as she is
these
covered in
rags that I
blood.
got just recently. Thank you. I'll have you know they are not old rags.
and if today's fashion was anything like that those gentlemen were wearing, we are well out of style.
I look fantastic. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, in that
Well,
case,
I don't want to have to reiterate again the sewer plan, but it
I'm
feels like it's
grip.
important.
My grip on the ladder tightens. I just go, well, in that case, perhaps you would like to guide us in this lovely place to my apartment.
Where
And
is
we
your
can find-
apartment?
Mayfair.
Okay, well that's really easy. If we go by the sewer,
And I'll grit my teeth and go back down the ladder.
I'm
don't
going
worry.
to
on.
walk.
Don't worry. Around the corner, it gets really, really clean and shiny. You'll love it.
No movement.
You don't trust him. Lillian will remember that.
I'm going to take a
Takat,
walk.
what'd you get?
Oraka, you're covered in blood. You may want to...
I know it is great. Oh,
Okay, look. This is getting
Masquerade,
ridiculous, all right? We can either go via the sewer and not get caught, or we can go through the
Fine.
streets and get immediately arrested by the Rozzers. Choices?
Well, they did mention that the blood of that Inquisition would make a very good present.
So your
In
plan
case
is
they
to
did
go
come
back.
around. No.
So do
Those
we
seem
want
to
to
be
go
the only
to...
people that would be hunting us.
Yeah, but if we go outside with her looking like a serial killer, they might just arrest us anyway for lols on the street.
For what?
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 What
What?
are the
I don't know.
lols?
What are you watching to? what part of that?
The lolling.
Oh yeah, you know that probably is anachronistic, isn't it? But then Roger Federer's not a fucking vampire, so I think I'm fine.
Prove it.
No.
He's in the sun all the time.
Have you seen him?
Wow.
That's a
He
reference
was
the
then.
modern
The green
person would
screen.
know, but not you.
Just for
Well-
fun. They'll arrest us for fun, okay?
Well,
Well,
much
we
as I
just
would
go.
love to hear this verbal diarrhea spilling out into the place that it so deserves to be, shall we?
Yes.
I mean, I've literally been saying that constantly, but
Ugh. I'll start tapping my finger on my arm. Just that. I'm going to rip his throat out. I'm going to rip his throat out.
oh, she's tapping. Oh, it's getting serious.
It's
I'll just put my like a hand on Jacob's shoulder. And I'm like, let's go. You lead.
Right. It's literally this way. I mean, I feel like I've said this a lot actually, but this way.
So is Takat going underground, or is he? Are they going up the ladder?
They'll probably, after all of the kind of talk, would probably go in the sewer, reluctantly.
Okay, I will follow behind them.
So is Lillian in front after me?
No, she would be trailing at the back, very reluctant to even admit that she's following, and picking her way past anything that looks particularly dirty or awful.
Ulrika would be right behind
Which is
Jacob.
everything.
She's used to having him lead her places.
Yeah. All right. So where were we at the start?
You were in the docks.
Oh God. Okay.
So somewhere on the east side. So you got a journey ahead of you.
Yeah, we got a good hour and a half of walking.
Yeah.
Delightful.
Okay. During the course of this walk, you guys are starting to feel much more like yourselves. Especially if you drain someone, you're now feeling sort of up and at 'em again. You've brushed off the cobwebs. You've drank some good blood. Those who haven't, you still feel better, but there's still a hunger. There's still a hunger on you for sure.
What is
Your
the
hunger
app,
should
by the
now
way?
be free if you just had a little sippy sip. Like you say, about an hour and a half, hour or so later, Jacob, you think you're in about the right place in Mayfair. That's where you're headed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Sure.
So Lillian.
I won't answer to my first name.
What is your fucking surname?
Whitlock.
Oh yeah. Oi,
Liz.
oi, Toreador. Yeah. You with a snotty look, yeah. We're in Mayfair. What street?
I don't know streets in Mayfair. Make up a street. A good one.
Yeah.
Mayfair
So
Street.
what, like,
In Mayfair.
sort of like High Road, something like that?
Whatever
Sure.
you
It
think
doesn't matter.
sounds high class.
I mean, it's Mayfair. Frankly, the tramps are very, very wealthy. So we could pretty much just throw a dart at a map of Mayfair and find somewhere smug. But anyway, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, well, that's
you can find a street. That's not going to be a problem.
Mhm.
all right. So yeah, that'll be like 5 minutes around the corner, a couple of
Mhm.
sewers over.
Okay.
Okay, well, this is probably your building then, here or somewhere abouts.
Probably.
All right.
Somewhere.
Like, probably was to make you feel a little bit better. It's definitely your building up there in front, probably 2 houses down.
In future,
Your house
please
was, as
don't
I
try to make me feel better.
as I remember, your house was the 2nd floor. It had a blue door. Some smug cunt sits outside it all day long. That one? That your house?
Thank you.
It's outside.
I'll head on up.
Pop up. So this is the first time that you all have been in London for quite some time. And it's changed since the 40s, although London is so old that a fair amount of it remains the same. That being said, probably the smoke and smog levels probably a whole lot different. There's that familiar stench of sort of grime, but London isn't quite as dirty as it used to be. But it's got that fuely smell to it. That sort of is kind of ever present wherever you go. Obviously, you're in it for a while, you don't recognize it, but the first breath of fresh air isn't actually all that fresh coming out from the sewers. It smells like a big city should. You can feel the heartbeat of London is still very much alive, and despite the fact that you're in a fairly quiet area, there are noises all around you. And you see moving vehicles. There are no horses anymore, but great box machines. You recognize cars have come a whole long way since maybe you saw some cars. Everyone seems to be everywhere with them, and there are big ones as well. Great trucks which career along the roads, and huge red buses as well. The people look tired and busy as they walk along the streets, not making much eye contact and just looking to get home at this hour. It's now about 7 o'clock, so actually rush hour is dying down, but there's always a lot of people up and about. London never really sleeps. You see that you're on the right road, but down the end of the path will be where the building should be.
Mm-hmm. And I'll look down at my clothing and just was hoping not to do this in this state.
No, you've,
If anybody
honestly,
would like
you've
to
never
join
looked
me.
better.
If anybody else would like to come inside and join me to freshen up, you're more than welcome. I'd imagine you're more than happy in your current state.
I don't know. I quite like you like that.
Yes, I would like to get it bath.
I probably should.
How certain are you that this place is not compromised?
I left them with specific instructions. And the entire place is left in a trust, so it should be fine.
And you'll know straight away if something isn't right.
Let's find out.
So Quinn will nod. I'll walk at the front with you.
Mm-hmm. Heading along the busy street towards the building that Lillian's marked out, you notice that the people too dress a whole lot differently than they did in the 1940s. There are now lots of suits, long dark coats, different types of shoes. Some of them are all sorts of colors. Some even glow on the children and light up when they run. People just have a different look to them. They're a whole lot busier. There's a difference to the mortals that, even though you probably pay very little attention to mortals anyway, you can tell that things are different. They're all glued to their presumably burner phones as well. They all seem to be interacting in them, talking to them, and they're much more preoccupied. And there are a whole lot more of them than there used to be as well. That's something that strikes you. Many more mortals up and around than maybe you're quite comfortable with. But you do reach the building that Lillian's marked out. It's a large, detached, essentially manor in Mayfair with that's old, but it looks like it's been refurbished since last you saw it, Lillian. Probably because it was these buildings just need to be refurbished to be kept up with, and it's now sort of like whitewashed walls where previously it was all sort of red brick, and some of the initial like timber isn't on display anymore, but it's still huge. It still has a gate to it and a grounds beforehand. And when I say grounds, I mean like 10 meters of grass, because it's still London. And there is what appears to be a security guard, a burly-looking man in his 40s, who's not really wearing a security guard's uniform, but it is a uniform in a sense. It's just like dark drab. And he's seated down. He has a thermos with what smells like some soup that he's drinking at this late hour. It's getting kind of cold. And there are lights on as well to light up the area and the grounds.
I'll note the changes in the building, and this, not quite a snarl, but my lip just kind of twitches. Right. And walk straight towards the gates, almost ignoring the security guard.
Yeah. You move towards the gates. He says, "Oi! Excuse me, this is private property." And he stands up as though he was on attention the whole time and puts his little mug of soup away.
I'll turn my attention from the gate to him and look at him and go, "I am well aware."
He looks like he's seen a ghost. "Oh, you must be Miss Whitlock. Are you back from your travels?"
Are you in the habit of asking such stupid questions?
Well,
have you been left with instructions?
Well, yes, but they said it was
Well, then
very
follow
unlikely
them.
you'd ever come back. They said you'd we're overseas, but can I see some ID?
You really don't want that.
Let's have a roll on this one. This sounds like fun. You could roll me wits plus persuasion or subterfuge. I'll let you choose. Persuasion is more of a convince, subterfuge is more of a trick, like a deception. Or intimidate, even, you know. That's...
Ooh. Oh. That was persuasion.
That's fine. Oh, man. No sixes.
No.
He gulps, but there is something of that annoying, plucky Londoner attitude about this man. In that he feels like there's a self-righteousness which comes about him after you've been insulting him. He says, well, you might be all that, missy, but I can't let you in without any ID. That's what the instructions said. So maybe you can come back tomorrow with some, if you don't have it on you, or
I'll
you got it, I'll let you in.
towards him. Has he got a booth that's security, or is he just standing there?
He's got like a seat basically that he's on. Yeah, not a
Does
booth.
he have an obvious key on his belt or anything like that?
It doesn't look like there's a key. No, you don't see any keys. He has what looks to be like a sheet of plastic which is hanging from his belt, but you have no idea what that would do.
Okay.
As Lillian is kind of eyeing this person up and is most likely going to go to the next level, being frustrated, Takat is going to stand behind her, and I'm going to use my dread gaze, which lets me basically briefly expose an vampiric nature to use it, instill a single subject with utter terror, most a coward, one or fear, blah blah blah. And I get to use my daunt. Sorry, not drag gaze. Daunt. The same thing basically. Afflicting the mortal, and I get to use my presence in any intimidation roll. So I'm trying to intimidate him with this.
Okay, let's do it. So is that a rouse check to do the skill, or is that just?
No, it's free. It's a free one.
Okay, sweet. So he is just terrified.
I have to make a roll to intimidate.
Okay.
So
yeah, you can roll wits plus intimidate, and it sounds like you can use your presence in that as well.
Yeah, so this gives me more dice to use. So wits
Sweet.
plus intimidate.
Poor guy, just doing his job. He's 2 weeks off retirement.
He has a heart attack right there. No.
God, Lillian, thank God the boss was here, eh?
No, because I fail as well. You know what?
How is that possible? I'm being all snarky.
Wait. Here's what's happened. Lillian, you rolled 66 rather than 60-10.
Oh, whoops! Sorry, I'm playing the wrong game. I think actually, do the looks?
Oops.
I've forgotten to write that down. That I've got 2 in looks. Does that affects persuade, doesn't it? That's 2 extra.
I believe so. If you're trying, if you're trying to use your looks,
right. If it's beautiful,
how can I not?
If it's like a beauty thing, it sounds more like an intimidate.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Let me.
They're all good. New system, new dice.
So that would be
the game just becomes. Lillian's playing on hard mode.
So that would be 7 d6. No, D10.
D10.
Come on, woman. Brain. I know it's late. There we go. 2 10s.
There it is. Oh, that's a critical success. So and we can roll this as like Takat's influence as well. The 2 of you sort of like team up on an intimidate. He like gulps. His gulp gulps once when he sees Lillian, gulps again when he sees Takat, and your preternatural smells sense some urine and a little dark patch on this man's trousers, a little trickle of pee as he is very, very scared. And he says, sorry, miss, don't write in. And he gets this little sheet of plastic, and there's a little pad on the wall. He runs it by, it beeps and turns the color green, and the gates open on their own.
I'll hold his gaze and take a little step towards him and go, I appreciate the effort to abide by the rules, but do go and clean yourself up. And turn and walk towards the house.
Yes, ma'am.
As I walk past him after, as we're all going through, I do the little to try to scare him a little bit more.
Say what?
Because I am still just covered in blood still.
Bitch.
Yeah, he
managed to get into your house on the second attempt. Good job.
He visibly recoils. Okay, I gotta go take a bio break, so I'm gonna allow Lillian to describe what the inside of your house looks like, and let you guys have a quick explore, and I'll be right back. Enjoy.
So as you walk in, the front door is a very, very dark red. And you'll walk in, and it's tiled floor straight up to one of the, those classic Victorian style spreading staircases. There's a fireplace to the right with a seating area. A small selection of books, but it's obviously mainly for waiting to being let through to the rest of the house. It's all done up in, despite the fact that Lillian will always try to keep up with current fashions, this is still very much done in the Victorian style. The wallpaper is immaculate, and I'd imagine it would be silk wallpaper still that she's sourced from somewhere. The furniture is all what would appear now antiques. It's luxurious without being overly ostentatious, but to the point where you definitely want to wipe your feet before you came in. But there's a sense of warmness to it, which kind of contrasts her personality quite a lot. There are a lot of pillows and luxurious textures. All of it's designed for the aesthetic beauty of it, but also the physical comfort. But there's a slight edge to some of the color combinations. You probably, despite the physical comfort of it, you wouldn't feel entirely at home. Slightly on edge, perhaps. Very well lit. I think that would be important to her. And the fact that the lights were on in the entire place would have been something that she requested, despite the fact that it was it would have been incredibly expensive to keep that going all the time. It was partly a deterrent, and partly just because that is terribly important to her. She's been in areas where things are not so good, and so to her, that's a sign of not only wealth and the fact that she's safe and comfortable and that she can see herself beautifully from any of the many, many mirrors in all the different areas.
I was going to ask how many mirrors there were.
Quite a lot. And if we go exploring more, there'll be different areas. Each of the rooms is done in a different color scheme, so it's not so much you're traveling the world, but there are lots of little antiques all over the place, and there's a different feel to every room. It almost like it evokes a different mood in you.
Would she have had them keep everything exactly as she left it?
Absolutely.
Or have them update anything? Or
no updating. No.
They're not
No.
allowed to. They're not allowed to change anything. Like she
No.
left it exactly perfect.
No.
Would she be looking to see if anything was out of place?
If there was anything technical, like lighting, things like that needed updating, that was fine, but the look of it had to remain the same. It's basically like inheriting a listed building. You can't do anything that changes the appearance of it, but it has to function in the same luxurious way that it did before. But no, she wouldn't trust anybody to have the right sense of taste. And to evoke the right moods in people in these different rooms, because even the scent in different rooms is different. So in the waiting area, it's relaxed but formal, I would say, is the mood that it evokes, almost encouraging you to want to go in further. But there will be doors open to the various rooms, and you can see that the wallpapers and the colours in those rooms are different.
I think Taket kind of looks around and then kind of looks at you, Lydian, and just says, It's like we never left.
Well, yes. Those were the instructions. Some of them, at least, can be followed.
I'll just give a sniff and say, "Oh yeah, your place just looks just like I remember."
Wipe your feet.
Oh yeah,
Or
no, I must do that.
backs
Hold
up.
on.
And then wipes her feet. She did not do that at all. And she wasn't taking heed to stay on the edge. She was just tromping right through the sewers.
Rahat would go to Ulrika and just, may I? And then point to where you have one of the burner phones.
Ah, yes. Burn it when you are done.
Of course, that's we'll get
Sacrifice
rid
it.
of the evidence when you're done. And then
Lillian
just
seems
go
like
sit
a
down with the
firework
books
in
and
there.
the scroll and the new technology and like just hunker down and play with all the new things.
Lillian would
Okay.
just hold her hand out. In fact, hold two hands out to Ulrika for the burner phones, if she had more.
Yeah, she
I mean-
swiped him off the table, but
Hmm.
she's just kind of staring at you like,
I
What do
need
you
to take a piss. Bathroom's still down there to the left.
Yes.
All right.
Try
back
and
in a
get
sec.
it in the bowl this time.
I mean, I can't guarantee anything.
Apparently not.
Ulrika, it's good to see you, cousin.
so good to see you too. And I think she'll just chuck a phone at Lillian and then go over. And now that we're not finding out, now that we're in a more secure area, she'll go and give Takat an embrace.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that embrace as well. It has been far too long since we've been walking about. I can feel it in my bones.
It's been very long. Everything is taller, and I'll gesture outside. I hate it. It is awful.
It is,
Rahat will just like
different.
at the mention of like Ulrika saying how gross everything is, Rahat will like lift up her head and like sniff. How can anyone tolerate these smells?
I'm sorry.
Not yours. Those. Pointing outside.
Mm.
There's the sound of a toilet flushing and then splattering like it's overflowing.
Oh,
Lillian,
mm.
It's happened again.
Lillian is now cursing not keeping a butler on staff. But she hadn't
I
been
think-
anticipating this.
you've got like 2 other bathrooms though, right?
Excuse me.
One down, 2 to go.
No, I've just my hands you can see clenching in the same way that when I was tied down at the beginning, just trying desperately not to murder, and very delicately make my way towards the bathroom.
I love that Force says he came with his own toilet paper. Just wrapped in these bandages.
I've actually just grabbed some from the sewer. Oh, someone's left some.
I spared no expense with these bandages. This is fucking Andrex, mate. Only a regular fucking 2-ply Tesco shit right here.
Cushel Jacob.
Uh-huh.
It seems the children are being children again.
Let them be. Apparently, there are things we need to do, but we have to do it diplomatically or something.
I don't know. Everything is weird. This new prince, Mithras, being dead, and
And we missed the war, apparently. I am so mad.
I sleep through all the fun stuff.
Does anyone have anyone they can reach out to? We somewhat stand out and need to count our friends.
Yes. Where is a war phone? Let me call my people. I look for a war phone.
There sadly isn't one anywhere you can see. It's just these annoying little burner phones. The place might have a landline. There is one, somewhere on a desk.
I'll yell for Lillian. Are you stressing? Are you looking for a mop? I'm guessing.
No.
Do you have any more like him outside in here?
I'll slam the bathroom door shut and go, terribly sorry, the downstairs cloakroom is currently out of order. I'm sorry?
The man outside, do you have any more of those?
I'll say this because I was away, but Lillian, there will be a little leaflet, like a little packet, which is like a welcome packet addressed to you upon the return of Miss Whitlock, and it has the numbers, several numbers that you might need. One of which includes like your house staff, which obviously aren't here every day, but they do come and clean the place. Otherwise, it would have been fallen down. So there is, it seems, a butler and crew that you could call, and it does seem like it's any hour of the day.
I'll look at it and look at the burner phone. What kind of phone is it?
It's a little
flat, or is it a flip or a...
It's got to be a Razor V3. That's the most 2012 phone I can think of.
2012, it's a wanker Matrix phone, isn't it? That's what it is.
There's probably a few Nokias knocking about. There's
Yeah, I definitely want
bricks that never die. Yeah, they're like tiny and the like smaller than your hand.
These are really small. How small it is.
I'll look at the number for the house staff and I'll look at the phone and just... Right, can't be too much different, I suppose. And key in that number.
I hate to throw
it
you
takes
off.
You like...
The iPhone 5 was out in 2012. We're going past. Yeah, that makes me feel ridiculously old.
Yeah, but like burner phones are all shitty ones.
Yeah.
Because the government is spying on us.
I want a Nokia 3210. I miss it.
That, I think, was my first ever phone with a Nokia 3210. Yeah.
Snake for days.
Fuck, we're old.
Yes, thank God you made that joke, because I was going to make you all feel bad. So, yeah, it takes you a couple of times. It takes you a couple of attempts because, like, the buttons are small and weird, and like you press
surely I'll be trying
to turn them in a circle.
Yeah. And then, like, after you press the buttons, it takes you a while to figure out. You also have to press like the call button, the little green call icon one. So there's a whole lot going on there, but you're an ancient vampire.
My hand on the phone is getting a little more grippy. This is taking longer and longer.
Yeah, you eventually get through, and you hear a female voice which says, "You've reached the offices of Lady Scarlet Hill. Can I ask who's calling?"
Lillian Whitlock.
And what is the purpose of your call?
The bathroom has developed a fault. I would like somebody to fix it.
Ah, you must be Miss Whitlock of Mayfair. And she lists the number, 17 High Row Road, Mayfair.
I stay silent. She hasn't asked me anything. She has all the information she requires.
Take that as a yes. Very well, we'll send someone down right away. Is there anything else I can help you with, Miss Whitlock?
No. And I go to hang up, and I don't know how to do it. So I just put it on the table face down.
Eventually she hangs up.
That's great.
And then if it's still on, wouldn't we hear beeping, burp, 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 from the phone?
Yeah.
Off noise is annoying.
Yeah.
Apparently somebody's coming to fix whatever it is you did.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Please do make yourself at home.
I've already done that, actually. Thanks.
Lillian, will you perhaps allow Holly here some food in your home?
Well, I'm not entirely sure that that's the kind of thing we would have kept in. I'll see what I can find, I suppose.
You're
I look around almost wanting to clap.
Yeah.
And realizing that no, that's not going to occur. I'm just hating every moment.
I'm trying to remember. Were fridges big thing in the 40s, or is that more of a 50s thing? I don't know. Either way, you'll find a fridge which is fully stocked and it's sort of cool inside and lots of food. It seems as though the staff have been regularly keeping food in case you were to return.
Apparently, we have food. And I'll walk straight past Holly.
Mm-hmm.
I look towards Holly, just kind of nod. I am going for a bath. I'll be back shortly.
She nods and immediately moves towards the food and goes and eats some.
Just a cat.
Some cold baked beans.
I'll smile quite strangely, almost warmly, but not to Kat, and gently touch their arm and go upstairs to the left, second door on the right.
Thank you. Well, I remember it. I'll be back shortly.
There's a little tap on the door, which is surprisingly fast. Looking out the window, you can see that it looks like a cleaning crew. They look fairly well dressed. I mean, you're probably paying quite a lot of money for these people. This is some sort of high-end cleaning crew, and someone that looks to be basically a butler.
I'll walk up to the door and open it and just look at them.
Miss Whitlock, we're here to clear the blockage.
Good. And walk in.
Very good. My name is Sebastian White, should you need it. And he moves on with his cleaning crew to the room in question. He's a professional.
I squint at him why would I need to know your name? As far as I'm concerned, he's here to clean the toilet.
Yeah, he says that and sort of moves on. So he didn't look like he was in for a conversation so much as sort of giving you the heads up. There are a few moments later, you hear the muffled sounds of, "Oh my God, what happened in here?" And so on and so forth. It's horrible. It's horrible. Yeah. And screams, etc.
I'll just hold Jacob's gaze while the sound of screaming happens.
I'll give her a
Sounds like
wink.
Roger Federer for men. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm standing behind Lillian and I'm giving a nut, giving Jacob the good job.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to go over to Tat's new human they have collected. And I want to request of her, when you're done eating, come and sit with me and explain this. And I hold out the phone. And then also this, and I open one of the books I have to something extremely modern, and I'm just like, I'd like to know more. You are our best source right now.
She's sort of starting to overcome her fear a little bit, partly because Takat's influence is beginning to sort of take hold on her. And Holly will nod and begin to explain phones.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have to stop her a lot because she's using words and phrases and things that you just don't understand. Because she's explaining it as though, she's trying to explain what this new model is, etc. And you need her to go slower and go back and so on. But she will explain it to you.
Yeah, I'm probably also like using any blank pages in the books I've collected to take notes. I'm like,
yeah,
so that I can fully comprehend and really break it down and understand.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd probably take her over to where I was sitting and studying because I'm used to Tech collecting human followers. So this is normal.
Yeah. Yeah, Holly is pretty
the
helpful.
latest in a long line.
Yeah, seriously.
What are their names?
It's the latest model. Lumpus.
Yeah.
It's
It
a new
doesn't-
Holly.
We just give them all the same name.
Clutch got flip open in some way.
Yeah, I don't pay attention to them, but they have their uses. So, to catch human followers have useful properties to them. That's
Totally. It's already paying off.
Can Sir Quinn have, he would have given Taket a decent amount of time to kind of leave the room, but he would have followed after them. And I imagine Sir Quinn will be just not stood outside the room, particularly guarding where they are, but just inspecting the different rooms around the way, just kind of milling about, pretending not to be doing anything untoward, but secretly keeping an eye on them.
Ulrika's following Sir Quinn around because she's bored. And
I'll take out a deck of cards and be like, anyone want a game? Or
Are we seeing disgusting things in Lillian's house as well? We're just opening random doors and
No, it's long been cleaned and tidied, and if Lillian does have any secret rooms, then only she knows about them at this point. If you're really exploring, then you can start rolling.
There's definitely one door that is locked.
One of this, there's some of them have definitely been squeegeed a few times. But
nothing but a blue light will reveal its secrets.
What is this magical light?
Excuse me, I'm paying for high-class cleaners. The blue light will show nothing.
It's weird. It's carpet, but the floor is sticky. So,
Jacob.
So Quinn,
that one wasn't me.
So Quinn is genuinely looking just in case anyone has secreted themselves and could be at risk to any of us.
Please use secreted again in a sentence following.
I know, right? Yeah.
But yeah, so he is actually, rather than just being nosy, he is kind of just having a look round, just to see if anyone's hidden or potentially up to
the place
good.
One over. It's pretty
And
isolated.
Ulrika's just like, what are you doing?
Looking. It's been a while since I've been in a place like this. It's very showy.
And then she'll wait 5 minutes, and then she'll be like, what are you doing now?
You hunger for the more interesting encounters we can have out there. You hunger for the blood. I'm sure our time will come.
Lillian, poker, seriously.
How long has it been, Orica, since you last drew your sword?
Too long.
He'll give her a wry smile. Do you still have it?
I have my shield. You didn't
No,
give me
you
the sword.
And he'll state the skills.
She looks highly offended. Like, how dare you insinuate such a thing?
We'll see. Torpor can make you slow. I've been through it enough times to see. Just take it easy to get going.
Knew I should have sacked Britain better. And she'll just mutter and walk off at that point and go play cards with Jacob if he's still looking for someone to play cards with.
Anyone, seriously.
You don't have anything I want to win. Thank you.
I don't think there was any danger of you winning.
Is Jacob,
Oh no.
are Jacob or Ulrika any good at cards?
I mean, I'm good at cards, and stealth, and larceny, and a number of other skills associated.
Ulrika is okay at cards. She's better at dice. And games involving, throwing of bones. But, she's kind of learned how to play some card games. She's definitely a sore loser, though.
Yeah, but I would definitely know that, so I'm only going to win by a little bit. I'm not a fucking
Yeah.
I want to keep my spine before the end of the card game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'll have played cards with Ulrika before and be well aware
Oh, yeah.
of the last time when I got half buried upside down for a week.
So a few hours pass. You can bathe, get dressed, find fresh clothes, play cards, check the perimeter, get settled back into the house. And around this time, it's about 10 p.m. So you do have a fair amount of nighttime left with which to work. We'll say that you guys begin to sort of congregate, I guess, back into the main center of the house.
Is this Sebastian guy still around?
Yeah, he can be summoned.
I look around for a way to do that because I'm not used to not having somebody like constantly waiting on me, and then get up with a sigh and go and find him.
Yeah, he's by the now cleaned up blockage.
Oh, good. I require a tailor, a hairdresser, and some form of beautician.
For the morning, ma'am, or immediately?
No, immediately.
Very well.
Have them bring enough for everyone.
Very well. That might cost a bit, ma'am.
Just scoff at him and go to walk out of the room. If he doesn't stop me, I'm just gone.
Yeah, no, he's not going to stop you.
Yeah.
He's
He's like Google to me.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
Dear Jeeves,
Oh, God.
how do I find a tailor,
He's more like us, Jeeves. Yeah.
a beautician in London at 10 p.m. and hit enter?
Yeah, you hear him making a few calls in the other room.
Takat would go over to where Rahat is, most likely still with Holly, and they would kind of sit down. They would have the burner phone in their hand, and they would just say, "You're always good with things like this. Do you know how to work it? I find myself lost."
Was there? Oh, if since Panda has looked it up and we've discovered that iPhones exist by this time, with the help of Holly, would we have any mechanisms by which to like search for phone numbers or do anything approximate to, or would she? Okay, because I'm Canadian, I don't know what exists in London. Is there an equivalent to calling an operator and getting a number? Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
We have a phone
Looking
book.
up.
There's a phone book. There's like a yellow pages for businesses, and then there would be a phone book
118?
like you could get. Yeah.
Has Holly been such a cunt that she hasn't explained that all of these phones are probably internet compatible?
well, but these are burner
sure.
phones. They're probably not. They're probably like flat
A
face.
2012 burner phone? Yeah, they are. Come on. That's definitely going to be internet compatible, isn't it? Is
I
that
don't
Yeah,
know, they were wearing
11 years
70s.
ago?
The guys who
Well,
gave
but
us were
then-
wearing 70s suits.
Oh yeah, no, fair point.
Like the cult that sprung us from this, are they springing for additional like web call? Because you know that cost a lot of money back then. Like even
Oh,
like
yeah, we
a
have to-
second
hold
on
on
the
a second.
internet on a crap phone with like
Hold on a second. Is there a corner shop nearby where we can buy one of those card things?
cards. Yeah, we need we need phone cards.
God.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I think I would have gotten Holly, like I would have gotten information of like an operator
Yeah.
or what y'all said 118 was the equivalent. I would have
Yeah,
gotten that
yeah.
equivalent out of her.
very least you've
and
got
I-
a phone book and a local business book. Yeah.
Yeah. So then if you press in this number, someone will come on the phone. You can request a name or a location, and they will give you how best to contact them.
Oh, right. And you see them like doing like one fingering, and then like
I
They-
like
they-
hold my hand out to do it for you. Because you're used to people doing
One
stuff for you,
episode.
and I'm used to doing stuff, so
Hopefully, between episode 1 and episode 2, there's like 6 months have passed and we all understand this fucking crap.
I have the flow archaic. I would not understand.
I do
it.
too. I have the full archaic. I'm like, technology? What?
I will
How
not
do
get
you
this.
work?
I actually was gonna say, like, you would have had to have brought over a different burner phone, because the burner phone that I had is in pieces in front of me because I was studying it. Like, honestly. It's like open, like, with everything out.
Dissecting it.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
absolutely dissecting it. This is the technological equivalent of me doing an anatomy check,
Great.
which I'm
Yeah.
also interested in doing.
Holly?
Holly.
Poor Holly.
Um,
It's a rough time she's going to have over
Listen,
the next few days.
It's been 70 years. I need to check if anything has changed. You know, vestigial organs can change very quickly.
mhm. It is good to see you again, Latat.
Well, I am here because of you. I will wait and see what is happening, but seems we have found ourselves in another interesting time. So I'm ready to listen and learn.
Yes, I too. And then like as they're about to say something, the call goes through and like it's a man's voice. And I'm calling like one of my vassals in like my nice condo. And it's I just say, hello, is Mr. Anderson there?
Mr. Anderson.
Exactly why I did it. That's why I named
it. The voice says, Master, is that you?
Yes, I have returned. If you could bring a card with some belongings to, and I give the address.
Yeah.
I require a pickup, a nice vehicle, discreet.
Very good, Master. It's good to hear your voice again.
Yes. Also gather the inner circle. I will be hungry.
Very well. And
How do I?
you hear the... What are you doing, Master?
That goes on for like a minute.
Yeah. Press the red button, Master. And yes, the red one.
There's no way that Cat didn't shout that either. Like an
No,
old
you
person
hang
with a
up.
mobile
No,
phone,
you.
just yelling into it.
It's going to be Dom fucking Jolly all over again. Hello, I'm on the train!
End call. End. Stop.
Just do it on your end. Just do it on your end.
Yes, Master. And the call has ended. Mercifully. So that's done.
So Quinn is going to kind of mention to everyone, I think I need to go and see what's left of what I remember. I've got some things to pick up. I'm going to South London. Does anyone want to tag along?
We have somebody coming to clothe us in more fitting attire so as not to draw attention.
And Ulrika, not knowing this, comes down the stairs now with a bucket just full of like water and is just like washing her clothes in it. That because they were blood stained and spattered. He goes, "Where's the soap?"
I think we can find you something a little more fitting. Are you just naked at this point?
Yes.
Cool. Lillian's fine with that.
Bucket.
Upstairs, third room along on the right. There's a big wheel on the wall.
We found a change of clothes, right? Well, there was a few bits in this house. I imagine they're just
Yes,
t-shirts.
there are clothes if you need them.
There are actually a curious number of pleasant clothes in various different sizes for various different types of people.
So Quinn's found one with way too many zips, so he's curious to what they all do.
Unicorn.
Not that
There was a
kind of
mask
house,
with it. I didn't
darling.
feel like wearing that one. I'll speak to one of the members of staff. How far to Wykes' Avenue, South London?
Yeah, the person is probably Jacob. Do you interrupt them before they give an answer?
It's like I don't know, 30 minutes that way.
Yes.
And do you still have carriages that pick people up?
I mean, there's always the sewers.
There are taxis, buses, trains.
But the sewers.
I look at both Jacob and the guy who just answered with absolute disgust at the idea of taking public transportation or the sewers.
Jacob, are you gonna show me the way?
I mean, I can do. I mean, I'm on the way to Angel anyway, so I can drop. I can pass. If we're going past, you can go there if you want.
You take me there, and I'll take you to Angel.
Are you going to be as precious as her about the dirt and that?
I've walked through enough shit that it doesn't bother me.
Oh yeah, perfect. Then we'll be fine.
You
Or
take
if
me.
you want to tag along, I remember your place.
Sure. They're up and
It's still
drying
that.
it, and I'm like laying out the clothes now, like over some furniture.
Oh no, I think we should just and I glare at White. It's like, deal with this.
Poor butler.
If you'll allow me, ma'am. And
What, you can make them dry
chief-
faster?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll accompany you to do that.
There's this really weird, like, Downton Abbey mini drama going on with all of the staff who live downstairs. They're like, I don't know what they're doing up there. Like, these people are crazy.
I definitely go with him and make sure that those clothes were absolutely destroyed. I can't have her going outside in those.
Lorca's gonna be so mad.
They burn it with fire.
Yeah, I'm just
Somebody's
waste
doing
disposal.
that.
I don't care. or at least just like shoved under something so she will not
I
find
got
them.
married in that dress 300 years ago. Oh,
To my
man.
first,
So-
second, and third husband.
Yeah, and if she's, do I remember right? She's looking to leave at this point.
Mhm.
I think a lot of the
Okay.
group are looking to head
Yeah,
out.
there's an
Okay.
open offer to everyone. I'm not
Okay.
like. So Quinn's just
Li-
getting stir crazy in here.
Lillian will go up to her bedroom and pick out something that looks about the right size for Ulrika, and bring it down, hand it to her. Okay.
What do you, is
While
it
you-
a
while
dress?
you're
Is it
dress-
a shirt and pants? What do you pick out for her?
What would she normally wear? What
I
would
think
she
she was
choose to
wearing
wear?
like some breeches and a loose, like flowy kind of like shirt, like definitely men's clothes. Is what she was
okay.
wearing.
Then it would be a very beautifully tailored man's suit. Comfortable and enough room to move, but
Mhm.
obviously very expensive and tasteful. And a shirt and tie to go with it. She'll hand them over. Say, while your clothes are drying, I suggest you wear this. You wouldn't want to attract attention.
Yeah, you
Fine.
wouldn't believe the amount of attention you'll get in the sewers wearing a suit.
Or naked.
Actually, the suit would probably draw more attention, honestly.
Ulrika will put it on, but she definitely doesn't put on the tie. But she holds on to it though. I think she uses it as a belt.
I was going to say, I was wondering if it was going to be belt or headband. It had to be one of the two.
Yeah.
Or a handy garrote.
Okay. At about this time, as you're heading out, you will notice a very long limousine, black, pulling up. The window slides down, and to Kat, you recognize your loyal follower, Mr. Anderson.
I think my ride has arrived. Lillian, thank you. You have my gratitude.
My pleasure.
All right, look, we've probably got to meet up like sometime tomorrow, you know, in like the day, but we got to call this woman because we got to go to the party at night, eh? So maybe we possibly arrange a place, time, something like that.
Yes. What about we just meet back here?
As you wish.
Easy enough.
I'll be back before dawn.
All right.
I'll lay down
Rat?
newspapers in the bathroom.
Yeah,
Give-
yeah,
take
you'll
a
want it,
little
yeah.
air.
Do you need a ride, Rat?
Yeah, Rahat was like avoiding traveling with Sir Quinn in particular. And so is definitely like at the chance to go a separate way is like just nods to you and gets in the car. Like
It has been an age. Good to see you all again. And I get it.
Mhm.
Come on, Holly. Let's go.
Ollie,
New human.
Ollie, get in the fucking car. What I will not tell you
Ollie.
again.
Holly, meet
You will
all
feel
of
the
the
back
other
of my hand,
Hollies. Yeah, there are a couple of other Hollies in the back, I think. That the cat have requested.
Holly? Holly.
Why are they all called Holly? That's so weird. It's like the worst kink of them all. I only feed off people called Holly. That's so random and shit.
It works. Well, okay, as Takat and Rahat get into the vehicle, Jacob and Sir Quinn prepare to enter into the sewers, and Ulrika. Lillian, I don't know what you're up to next, actually. Are you staying in the house for now?
Yes, I probably would do.
Just staying
There
for
is
the-
no
yeah.
way I am leaving while I'm still looking like I belong in the wrong era.
So there's this great moment then where all of the other rest of your coterie have headed off, and there's this blissful moment of silence where Lillian is alone, aside from staff, in the house, and she just closes the front door.
Bliss.
And that's where we're going to end tonight's first session of Vampire the Masquerade, Fall of London. Oh boy, that was a lot of fun. Well done, ladies and gentlemen. A round of applause, if you would, for this wonderful coterie. Man, tonight's episode was a whole lot of fun. I hope you guys there in the chat enjoyed it. If you did, do let us know. Let us know in the comments on YouTube. Give us a like or whatever on YouTube. You can subscribe, and of course, we love seeing you guys here in Twitch chat live every Tuesday at 4 o'clock Eastern. Mark it in your calendars, and come join us each week here and get to hang out with the crew. If you're interested in the Chronicle that we're playing through, we're of course sponsored by Modiphius Entertainment, so go and check out Fall of London. It's a really, really fun Chronicle, and we're only just getting started. We just played through the first 4 or 5 scenes of this Chronicle, and we've got a whole lot more to go. So I'm really, really excited to get further into this. We're going to probably meet Queen Anne next week and enter into High London society. Oh yes, that's going to be very exciting. So let's go around the cast and the crew. Did we enjoy ourselves? Where can we find you guys online? Let's start with Adam.
Yep, my name is Call of Cthulhu. I play horror games Monday to Saturday. You can find me at twitch.tv Call of Cthulhu, or you can find me at Fall of Cthulhu on Twitter, if that floats your boat. I've loved playing Jacob. This is super fun. I think this is going to be great times.
Finally emerging from the sweaty
He's got the chin!
It's fine right now. If the temperature rises by 4 degrees, I am fucked.
It's all over. Oh boy. Rat. Jess, great job tonight. How was that for you?
Oh, hi. So good. I'm really interested in this story and where we're going and our whole group and oh my goodness, the intrigue of these extremely different people from extremely different times and places all kind of stuck together in London is very interesting and exciting to me. So I'm very excited. And my name is Jess. You can find me at go_GG in most places. I make and stream indie TTRPGs, as well as I don't make video games, but I play those too. And yeah, just very excited to finally get to be here on Encounter Roleplay with y'all. And also, I want to steal your puppy. It's very cute.
I'm sure Olive will be making regular appearances. She is she helped me prep Vampire the Masquerade today, so she's really the overlord and mastermind behind all of this. I don't take any credit. Amelia, and then pass to Pro for me, because I got to run for 10 seconds. But
hello. I'm Amelia Tyler. I'm a voice actor for video games mainly, and I also now apparently stream here on Twitch. So you can find me Twitch blah 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 Amelia Tyler, or over on Twitter Amelia Tyler on that as well. Yes, branding apparently. You can also find me here Mondays playing our new Game of Thrones, A Song of Ice and Fire game, where I'm playing a character with a similar social skill set, but so different. She's so nice and she is utterly doomed. So head on over on Mondays and meet Tala, because I have a horrible feeling she's not going to be around for very long. Yeah, tonight was awesome. I've loved playing Lillian. It's really nice to do that Ice Queen thing and see how everybody reacts to it. And Adam, it's inevitable that we'll end up hating each other in every campaign we play. It's fate. We get to hang out face to face this weekend, so that should be hilarious.
That should be nice. It probably won't be quite as antagonistic as it is every roleplay session.
Let's hope. Let's hope.
Well,
please
mate, and then we both
toilet.
turn up with like black eyes and shit on Monday.
Yeah, please don't break the toilet in the Airbnb. That's all I ask.
Oh, it was purposefully done. Like, it wasn't an accident.
That doesn't make it classier.
It was properly done with spite. It wasn't like a mistake.
It's really
I've done a toilet mistake.
Oh dear, I did an error. Is it okay? I'll pay for any repairs. It wasn't that. I proper like layered shit and toilet paper in like a cake.
You did.
Wow. That's a delicate note to leave us on.
This is going to be the comedy.
Toilet humor. It works every time. Except from when Adam's using it. Pro.
The fuck? I'm hilarious.
I meant when you were using the toilet, it doesn't work.
Well, that wasn't clear.
That's hilarious too.
Well, maybe not to you, Adam. Pro Restarter.
Hey,
Great having to cat with us.
Yeah, Tag Hat was great to jump in the shoes of. Great to kind of connect with the players and see how our connections and our personalities will kind of come in and clash. But I'm Pro Restarter. You can catch me on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. I'm doing some projects that aren't happening on air yet. I got some streams coming up soon and some other channels. So keep an eye on my Twitter for that. It's been awesome playing, and thank you for having me.
Fantastic stuff. Love Lindy.
Hi, it's me. That was so much fun. Ulrika is a hoot. I enjoy playing her. I wanted a game to play a Viking in for a while, so I was like, yes, finally, and I could be a technologically confused Viking, even better. So can't wait for hopefully some murder and mayhem and violence next week. I'm sure it's going to be a normal chill party. You can find me online at LaughLoveLindy on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, etc. I play and GM a lot of tabletop RPGs a week. You can find me in 2 hours on my channel, where I will be DMing Mists of Ravenloft, old 2nd edition D&D stuff, brought up to 5th. And you can find me back here again on Wednesday, where I wear, again, the same fangs for a Dampier that on Unhallowed Metropolis, which is a super fun, spooky system. So you should definitely come check out that show too.
Kudos for being able to talk in the fangs, by the way.
Yeah,
I've had a lot of practice.
Are they like special ones, or are they?
They are
Like
the
regular
$18 fangs you can get, and you mold them to your teeth. And they just...
Yeah, that's impressive. I
just get a list. Yeah.
Yeah. I just drool a lot on myself. More so than usual. But speaking of which,
vampire.
Fuck you, Will.
Suppose return.
Lots and lots of fun playing with these peeps, watching kind of things develop and things stew and like class things going on. Yeah, it's really good. Nice start to the session. I got 2 things to. First off, shout out to Lydia, Half-Assed Hermit, who did all the artwork. She's worked with all of us and done amazing things. And thank you so much. Go and check her out on Twitter. Also, I am the start of an actual play podcast. Follow us on @MurderHobros on Twitter. We've got episodes on iTunes and all the cool places. Follow it, give a listen. And if you tweet Josh, who runs it, or @MurderHobros, he'll probably up the episodes because he's got fucking loads in the backlog. So tell him to pull his finger out and you might get some more episodes. We're up to 6 now. That's a lot.
You've
done about 6 episodes.
Such a good name.
And wasted on us, but yeah.
It couldn't be better, really. There's no way.
It doesn't.
You might have actually peaked in your life the day you came up with Murder Hobros as a name.
I peaked a fucking long time ago. You see my hairline, mate. I'm long peaked.
Oh boy. Well, I had a fantastic time playing here with these wonderful folks. Go check them out on the Twitters. Go check them out on the Twitches and wherever else they're doing things, podcasts, iTunes, all that good stuff. So go and do that. Go follow them for us. If you want to keep up with all that I'm doing, I'm ostensibly not really on Twitter so much, but you can follow @EncounterRP and the network and all the stuff we're doing here, all the common shows that we're doing here. You can follow @Kobold Press as well, both here on Twitch and Twitter as well. I'm going to be back there in an hour's time at 8 o'clock Eastern to play some more of the World Tree Burns. So come check that out. And other than that, I'm going to go take care of my olive. So it's been a whole lot of fun. Thank you guys for joining us today. We hope to see you guys back here next week and hear from the rest of the channel for some of the other fantastic shows that are happening. But until next time, try not to roll too many down ones. We want to be there laughing when you do. Good night, everybody. Bye.